to battle!
What if I told you the Bible records epic battles where God's warriors defeated giants over 13 feet tall? Today we're uncovering these legendary showdowns, starting with the most terrifying giant king who ever lived. Before Israel could enter the Promised Land, they had to face an impossible enemy, entire tribes of supernatural giants. The Rephaites, Anakim, Zamzumites, and Emites ruled the land. Numbers 13:33 says the spies felt like grasshoppers compared to these monsters. But God had a plan to systematically destroy every single one. Let's see how he did it, starting with the very first giant battle. 1400 BC, the first recorded giant defeat. King Og of Bashan wasn't just a giant. He was the last surviving Rephite king. Deuteronomy 3:11 tells us his iron bed was over 13 feet long and 6 feet wide. This monster ruled 60 fortified cities across an entire kingdom. When Israel approached, imagine their terror seeing this giant king commanding armies from his fortress walls. But Numbers 21:34-35 records God telling Moses, "Do not fear him, for I have delivered him into your hand." The result? Total annihilation. Moses led Israel to completely destroy Og's kingdom. Not one person survived. The giant who had terrorized the region for decades fell to God's people. This victory sent shockwaves across Canaan. If Israel could defeat the mighty Og, no giant was safe. 45 years later, the most underrated giant battle. Numbers 13:22 first mentions 3 Anakim brothers who terrorized Hebron: Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai. These descendants of Nephilim had ruled this strategic city for decades. Most of Israel's spies fled in terror when they saw them, but not Caleb. At 85 years old, this warrior stepped up for the impossible mission. Joshua 15:14 records the incredible result. Caleb drove out the 3 sons of Anak, all 3 giant brothers. How did an elderly man defeat 3 giants? Pure faith. Caleb trusted God completely and conquered what an entire generation feared to face. Around 1020 BC, the most famous giant battle in history. For 40 days, Goliath of Gath had taunted Israel's entire army. This giant stood over 9 feet tall, wore 125 pounds of bronze armor, and carried a 15-pound spear tip. Professional warriors fled in terror. Then came teenage David with just a shepherd's sling. But listen to David's declaration, "I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel." One smooth stone, right between the eyes, the giant who had terrorized thousands fell dead instantly. But David wasn't finished. He used Goliath's own massive sword to cut off his head, showing all Israel that no giant stands against God's anointed. Years later, the giant who nearly killed a king. Ishbi-benob, another descendant of Gath's giant bloodline, emerges from the shadows. Armed with a 7.5-pound bronze spear and a new sword, this monster had one target: King David. Enter Abishai, son of Zeruiah. This mighty warrior arrived just in time and struck down the giant, saving David's life. After this close call, David's men made him promise never to go to battle again. The lesson? Even the greatest leaders need loyal friends. But the giant bloodlines weren't finished. 2 Samuel 21 records 3 more epic battles. First, Saph, another Gath giant, killed by Sibbecai the Hushathite in single combat. Second, a massive giant with 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 24 digits total. This abnormality fell to Jonathan, David's nephew. Third, another giant wielding a spear like a weaver's beam, destroyed by Elhanan. 2 Samuel 21:22 gives us the final tally. These 4 were descendants of the giants in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and his servants. From Moses to David's mighty men, over 400 years of giant defeats. Every battle shows the same pattern. It's never about your size, it's about your God. Like if this encouraged you, comment which battle inspired you most, and subscribe for more biblical truth that builds unshakable faith.